Today we're going to talk about a Brooklyn heavyweight that came out of retirement. Not a heavyweight that fights in the ring, but a heavyweight champion in the arena of making pizza. Pizza has been a fan favorite in America since the early 1900s. And there's been an explosion of pizza joints in the last decade. But lost in the flurry of many of the new establishments is the art and tradition of what made pizza so popular to begin with. Patsy Grimaldi is one of the founding fathers of signature pizza, certainly in New York. And ever since he retired in 1998, there's been an outcry for the return of his traditional pizza.
You know, there's a lot of great pizza out there. Pat likes to do it his way, and every time he'd run into someone, they'd say, I wish you were back. You know, we really haven't had great pizza since you retired, and we'd love to see you doing it again. And after so many of those requests, the Grimaldis decided that they really did miss the business, and they wanted to come back and redefine Pat's legacy.
Patsy answered the bell and came out of retirement with the help of his business partner, Matt Grogan.
What we're really trying to do is redefine Patsy Grimaldi's legacy and also redefine what traditional New York pizza is. But what we wanted to do was get back to basics and present a great pizza the way it was made 100 years ago when it was first introduced in the United States.
So how did the pie make its mark in the U.S.? For the answer, we go back in time. Pizza made its first appearance in the United States with the arrival of the Italian immigrants in the late 19th century.
How you doing?
Part of that Italian immigration were brothers Giovanni and Gennaro Bruno.
Hey, quesadilla!
They introduced the Neapolitan-style pizza. Ooh. Pizza was sold on the streets until Gennaro Lombardi opened a grocery store in 1897. He quickly found out that pizza was his best seller, and the first pizzeria in America was established. The price of pizza was 5 cents, but since many people could not afford the cost of a whole pie, they would instead say how much they could pay.
I only have a 1 penny.
And they were given a portion of a pie corresponding to the amount offered.
Here, 1 penny is worth of my fine pizza.
And the slice was born.
Yeah, give me a slice.
So now back in present day, pizza is no longer 5 cents a pie, but it is still made here with tradition and care by the master.
It's in his blood. He's been doing it for over 50 years, and I would say he's probably the one pizzaiola that many people can name.
And that brings us to the big question, the name. If you noticed, the front of the building says Julianas, not Grimaldi. That's because when Patsy retired about 15 years ago, he sold the business, and included in the deal was the rights to the name Grimaldi. So here's where it gets a little awkward. Frank Scioli, the buyer of Grimaldi's 10 years ago, moved out of this location to a bigger facility right next door, with Patsy's name prominently displayed. Meanwhile, Patsy was able to resecure his old establishment, but wasn't allowed to call it Grimaldi's, so he opened up under his mother's name, Juliana. And while Scioli took the name with him when he moved next door, he left one of the most important components responsible for the taste and consistency of Patsy's pizza, the coal oven. And that was key.
Coal burns at a much higher temperature than wood or gas. It's also a much drier burn because coal is, mined from the ground and has been under pressure for millions of years and is rock solid. It also is a very clean burn, very little to no smoke at all, so there's much less ash within the oven. Wood, although it imparts a great flavor, is a very wet burn because there's a lot of moisture in wood because the fuel itself is relatively young, and you get a lot more ash and dust.
Some major upgrades and modifications have been made to this New York City tourist attraction and neighborhood favorite. Visible changes in appearance and presentation. But does the heavyweight coming out of retirement still have what it takes to go the distance? Let's see. It is exactly the same as it's been for maybe the last 80 years. Patsy was suffering from the flu and couldn't be with us on this day, but his legacy carries on with lines stretching down the street for a taste of tradition and perfection.